Hello, everybody. It's me, Bigfoot Mr. Rob, BMR. It's Wednesday. Time for true cryptid encounter stories. Yeah, it is Wednesday. Hey, Rob, what are you doing? Just come out on Saturday. I got a packed weekend this Saturday, so I would not be able to get out these stories until, well, today because, well, first of all, Thursday I'll be on my show at 1 o'clock, and he's Brunch with Bigfoot Rob, 1 o'clock tomorrow. Then Friday, I'm filling in for the Blondes and the Booze because they're going to football games with their kids. So myself, Tex, and Jason will be handling that show. The three dudes take over for the Blondes and the Booze. So that's Friday. And then Saturday, everybody, I know a lot of you don't care about sports, but I have my 31st annual fantasy football draft. I will be there all day long. Because we don't just draft. After the draft is done, we play some poker, we hang out, and it's been the same 12 guys for 31 years, you guys, which is phenomenal. It's kind of like my Christmas Eve when the fantasy football draft comes about with my 12 great friends from high school and college, and we just have a great time. So, yeah, so I'm getting this out of the way now because I do have a big weekend ahead. Thank you for everybody that has subscribed to Bigfoot Mr. Rob on YouTube. I do appreciate you guys. Hey, last night, too, by the way, I had Heather Mosier on from Small Town Monsters. That was a great show. Go check out the replay. It aired last night like they do every Tuesday night at 9 with Krista. Great show. Please check that out and subscribe. Leave a comment. Give me a thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Of course, I am a BMR. I'm going to get on with it, so thanks for tuning on in. This story, you guys, again, both stories are going to be based in Alaska. I'm giving you two stories, encounter stories. And I guess this story, I got an email and it said, hey, Rob, this story's been passed on, and it's not getting much circulation for whatever the reason. I'd like to have you give a stab at it on your show, on your video. So I read through this, and you guys are going to like this. And it goes on like this. This is a story my mother told me a few times while I was growing up. I asked her to tell me the story again so that I could post it online. So, yes, this has been online, you guys. Some of you may have heard this before. I don't know. I would appreciate, Rob, any thoughts or from your viewers on what this could have been. My mother was one of 12 children who were turned over to an orphanage in Alaska, Turnagain, Alaska, about 30 miles outside of Anchorage, outside the Alaskan Triangle. There were no other children in this home, and it was apparently run or managed by a priest. We do not know the year the children were surrounded or at the orphanage. In or around 1955, my mother would have been around 7 years old. The bedroom assigned to the female children was in the attic, with an attic storage access door leading from either side of this bedroom. There were 4 children in this room, 2 of which slept on a bunk bed and 2 on a full-size bed. My mother was on the top bunk. The people who ran the orphanage had started saying to the children that if they saw or heard anything upstairs in their room, to wake them immediately, and they would kill it. My mother's sisters had told her several times that if she ever saw the creature, not to be afraid, it would not harm them. They thought they were trying to scare her. One night, my mother was awakened by a noise. As she looked down from her top bunk, she saw a small creature walking upright across the room. She describes it as no more than 2.5 or 3 feet tall, shaped like a human, completely covered in very dark long hair, with limbs not disproportionate with its body. Because it was night, and she was only able to make out the features as the moonlight through the window allowed, she was not able to clearly see his face, its hands, or its feet. She watched this creature in terror. while it walked about the room. She saw it struggling to reach the covers on the lower beds to apparently cover the children up. When the creature started to try to climb to the top of the bunk where my mother was yelling, "Stay away from me." When she did this, the creature appeared shocked, and she was awake, and that she had yelled at it. It abandoned its attempt to climb the bunk and was later seen by my mother trying to take the skeleton key out of the bedroom door. It apparently really wanted that key because it stood there for a very long time trying to get it out of the door, but it never succeeded. She did not see the creature leave the room. However, one of the attic storage doors was out of her line of vision. A few weeks later, the children were told to bring some army rations out of the attic storage space. When they went to retrieve them, they found several ration cans opened and discarded in the far corner or one of those spaces. She thinks there were more than 12, but less than 20. None of the children had reason to sneak food, so they were not likely suspects for the presence of the empty cans. That was the only encounter my mother had with this creature, but much to her relief, my mother isn't one to tell fantastic stories. She is now 62 years old, educated, and a very hard worker. She has no illness and takes no medication. She has never told any other wild tales. She has also never tried to seek any attention with this story. In fact, there are only a very few people she has told this to. My mother was adopted when she was 9 and taken from her siblings to Oklahoma. She never again saw or spoke to her siblings until 1997, where she had a purely chance encounter with her older brother at a tribal meeting. When they began talking, they did not know they were siblings until one of them mentioned having grown up in an orphanage outside the town in Alaska. It didn't take many more sentences for them to learn that he was the child born before her. Within the hours of this meeting, while they were still talking about the orphanage, I asked my uncle if he remembered seeing the creature. His face lit up and he described it in detail, the same creature my mother had seen. They had only been talking for a few hours and did not have any time to coordinate a fabricated story. I always wondered what this creature was, says the writer. Any ideas? Tina. I don't know, Tina, what that is. If you're asking me what I think that is, I don't know. Little person, baby Bigfoot, some sort of humanoid creature. I don't know, you guys. What do you guys think that was? I got to tell you, Alaska's kind of creepy. There's all sorts of things in Alaska. I will bet you guys that we have no idea what they are. Much like North America, to be honest. There are cryptids out there that are undiscovered, not even seen, that do their best to stay hidden from us. Give me your thoughts. Leave a comment on that. And help out Miss Tina. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to move on to the next one. This, you guys, it's another one from Alaska. This is in the Alaskan Triangle. And I got to tell you, I was looking some things up online. I got this, the guy that presented this has posted this before. Jerry Reed, the name of the guy, and I did some other research. In fact, I'm going to share this. It's kind of brief because I'm deciding that I'm doing a story on this. Or actually, I'm going to do a live show on this, I think, on a late show with the girls and get everyone's take on it. So I'm going to give you kind of a preamble to what to expect on one of the Saturday night shows. Give me your thoughts if you think I should do a show on this. So I'm going to be brief with this, and then I'm going to do further research before the show. So let me know. Give me your thoughts. Fans of the strange and mysterious are familiar with the Bermuda Triangle urban legend. However, there is a similar region in Alaska full of the unexplained. And you might have guessed, it's called the Alaskan Triangle. As this story goes, and I mentioned this on the live show last night, in the Alaskan Triangle, twice as many people go missing in Alaska, the Alaskan Triangle area, than the national average. Since 1988, over 16,000 folks have disappeared in this area, never to be found. The mysterious regions runs from Anchorage in the south to Juneau in the southeast panhandle to Barrow, a small town on the state's northern coast. One of the most famous incidents was in October of 1972 when a small private plane vanished while flying the Alaskan Triangle. U.S. House Majority Leader at the time, Hale Boggs, Alaskan Congressional Representative Nick Begich, aide Russell Brown, and the Bush pilot Don Jones were aboard. And this was a tragedy, apparently, that brought attention to that region. 50 civilian planes and 14 military aircraft, plus many boats, searched 32,000 square miles for the missing plane and its crew. The expansive search did not result in answers. However, authorities found no man or a plane or its wreckage. Not even any remains, not a trace. Now, this is where it gets creepy and the cryptid is involved. And we talked again briefly last night about the Kushtaka or the Kushtaka. Investigations went on, and they blamed Alaska's harsh weather and unforgiving wilderness for these disappearances. However, the indigenous folks of this region blame something else. The tribe of the Tlingit call it Kushtaka or Kushtaka. That was written twice. Sorry, you guys. Meaning land otter man. And we talked about this, an aquatic cryptid. A legendary shape-shifting creature that appears in numerous modern literary works by David Pedanko, William Giraldi, and Hold the Dark, which was a Netflix movie. In Anne McCaffrey's book Maelstrom, Book 2 of the Twins of Pettibee, a shape-shifting deep-sea otter that calls himself Kushtaka appears. In some accounts, the Kushtaka can take the shape of any species of an otter. Others suggest it can shift only into one kind of otter. Legends about the Kushtaka behavior conflict as well. Some report it as a cruel, luring the sailors to deaths, and others retelling it imitates the cry of a baby or woman, coaxing the person into the river. And we talked about this on the show. There was an awesome, on Small Town Monsters, they heard babies crying in the forest in the Alaskan mountains, in the Alaskan environment. So this really rings home to me. Once the Kushtaka shreds the person's flesh from his or her body. So I'm guessing that this cryptid actually attacks and takes on a human flesh. However, some suggest it is friendly and a hero and saves lost persons from freezing. To Kushtaka gives the individual otter-like illusions of a family member or a friend and transforms the lost soul into the Kushtaka, thus saving them from freezing. Some researchers believe a swirling energy vortex, a portal to another dimension, occupies the Alaskan Triangle. Entities from other worlds travel through this portal into the Alaskan wilderness and take the lost people back with them. This would explain why investigators never find remains. The writer goes on by saying he gathers or gathers the Kushtaka legend or travelers from another dimension explanations for the disappearances of individuals and planes in the Alaskan Triangle. Certainly, the Kushtaka is creepy, and entities taking lost individuals to another dimension beats freezing or starving to death. Ha ha ha, as he writes. And I got to tell you, I have to give credit. This is a person, Claire Bush, wrote this. Part of the research I did, so I kind of put it all together. I got to tell you, guys find that interesting? Should I do a show on the Kushtaka? It's something that we don't talk about a lot. I certainly haven't talked about it on my show. A shape-shifting creature that when it overtakes a human being, consumes their flesh and takes their form. I've got a lot of ideas on this. I'm thinking about doing a live show, putting some research together, getting with the gals for Saturday night at midnight, which is another one of my shows. I'm on 3 days a week. Tuesday, 9 o'clock at East. Tuesday, 9 o'clock at East. Thursday, one of these is Saturday night at midnight. I hope you enjoyed that. I wanted to get this out because I'm going to be gone for the weekend, so I hope you like it. Double your trouble. Thanks for watching. Please give a like, leave a comment. What do you think about these two stories? Give me your insight. Give me your thoughts, as you always do. Once again, if you're new, please subscribe to Bigfoot Mr. Rob, found on YouTube. Have a pleasant rest of your week running into the weekend. I know mine's going to be good. The fantasy football draft approaches Saturday for me. I'm going to love it. Love you guys. Thank you so much. You're appreciated. BMR, and I'm out.